Okay, I'm hoping this works a bit better this time. I'm Geminatronix. I have a type I identify with quite comfortably. I believe that I'm doing this so I can have an official typing, but of course, if you know, everyone's sort of welcome to please make your own observations and let me know what you think. I'm slightly deflated because I've already done this a couple of times and something went wrong, and I feel like I lost a little bit of myself to the ether. Okay. How did you get into typology, and what interested you about psychology? Psychology is this kind of vast interweb of connections between the mind and the observations of the outside world, and how we internalize and deal with that, and that's something that's been going on for a long time. It's way before I ever had an understanding or awareness of typology, and I used to be quite observant of people, although I was very confident speaking with people. I enjoyed watching people. I used to like to, I suppose, I used to adventure off and find people that I thought were interesting to talk to and to ask questions. And I've met a lot of really interesting people from a very young age, because I was fairly I suppose I just had this sort of yearning to find out about people and the world, you know, like I just wanted to explore and find out what was going on, you know. And that started from a very, very young age, you know, from around the age of 2 or 3. I was quite independent, in as much as I would just take myself off and go and find people and situations to learn about, you know. Okay. Oh, what interested you about psychology? I read that wrong. Interested me. Well, it was a natural interest from a very young age, before awareness really set in about it, and it was just a desire to understand, you know. I was into philosophy before I was into typology, I suppose, but the relationships between, well, the relationship I have with myself and the relationship I have with other people and the interrelationships all around me, you know, this kind of vast cosmic web, you know, of sort of these fine silk strands between all the people in the universe is quite fascinating, and that can go off in so many different directions, you know. It's so much more vast than typology. Okay. Did you work, go to college? How were you at college and work? What did you do? What do you do? What did you do? Do you enjoy what you're doing? What would you like to do instead? I didn't even read that the first time. If unemployed, just describe what you'd like to do. like a pity question. Sorry, that might be offensive. I do work. I'm self-employed. But I wasn't. So, you know, I was unemployed at some stage. I don't love it. It's convenient, and Trying to, I suppose, make a better life for myself and children in terms of, you know, sort of, I'd like to buy my house, you know, so there's that. It doesn't feed my soul though, you know, it's work, it's not fulfilling. For that I do other things. I do a lot of community and charity work, I suppose. I do work for a charity, and I run charity auctions with my own things, you know, my own stock and things like that. And I also get involved in community projects, of which I may be getting involved in another one quite soon. Sort of various things. But that, you know, that's, I mean, ultimately, I have other goals, you know, but they're quite big, quite vast goals, and I don't know, you know, I could explain that I spoke to the sort of head of education for my borough, and tried to explain to them how they needed to change the education system and implement sort of well-being from a young age, and you know, all of these things, and they just didn't listen to me. I think they kind of saw me as that sort of, that kooky lady, you know, and just, it's really frustrating, because I just want to say, look, it's not difficult, but someone has to start, you know. Anyway, where was I? Yes, work, college. But I want to go to university as well. There's a lot of things I want to do. Well, I've been to university. I want to do an open degree now. I want to do, well, I want to do so many things. That's why I want to do an open degree, because you know, there's sort of the business studies or something for my business. That would really help me, because I'm terrible at organisation. And then there's things that I would really enjoy doing, like astronomy. And I'd kind of like to do a bit of neuroscience, because I think it would help with some other areas. Well, yeah, there's lots of things I'd like to do. Okay. Home, hobbies, interests. I read a lot. I research a lot. I am a keen, avid researcher. When I'm interested in something, I like to gather a lot of different information about it. And I do spend, I can get a bit into it, you know. I can be really kind of like, sort of like sucking the life out of it, you know, just give me information. Okay, hobbies, interests. How are you with family, friends, relationships? How am I with relationships? Wow. How are you with it? See, now I'm thinking of that in more of a philosophical way, rather than, well, it's bizarre, because I read how are you with family, how are you with friends, and then I read how are you with relationships. When I got to I got how are you with relationships, and it seems much more philosophical, and I wonder if that's telling. I think I'm rambling, actually. How am I with friends, family and friends, and relationships? With family, I kind of am the, well, I used to be the mediator, and now I'm more the rock, which is not by choice. It's by, you know, the conditions, you know. It's just happened that way, and it's hard. That's really hard for me. That's not a natural thing for me to be really responsible. In some ways I like it, because I feel like I can help, you know, I can provide, and those are things that I admire in other people, and so to be able to do it a little bit myself is really quite rewarding. But the responsibility kind of hurts me, you know. It's like I already feel an overwhelming responsibility in other areas, and responsibility is something I really struggle with, although I do accept it. Okay. Oh, okay, so family, friends. I don't have a lot of friends. It's not true. I don't have a lot of real friends. Look, I have a friend here. I have, it's Anakin. I think it's Anakin Skywalker. I love Lego. Maybe it's not Anakin, maybe it's Luke. Anyway, where's his hair gone? My friends, I do have friends. I have real life friends. I'm a bit of a recluse. I don't go out very much. I'm not really into the whole sort of clubbing scene or anything like that. I used to go out a lot. I like alternative stuff. So sometimes I'll go and do sort of an alternative, I don't know, warehouse party where it's all designed like 80s rave fairy neon get up, you know. I don't know, I like stuff that's a little bit different. I went to a cool party on an ex HMS ship, which was quite cool. Right, next one. Relationships. How long's this been going? Ages. How am I with relationships? How are they with me? You know. How am I with relationships? Relationships quite big. I suppose I'm very much an all or nothing person. I'm not. I can take time. I find it difficult to do the proper commitment thing, but I can take. It's yeah. It varies. You know, everyone's different. So it depends who you're having a relationship with. But I believe in monogamy. Anyway. Good at, what are you good at? I'm good at inspiring other people and really not very good at inspiring myself. That's something that's a thing. But I have, you know, I have managed to, and okay, so I'm good at seeing potential in people, and that excites me. I like, you know, like someone said recently, I don't waste time on potential anymore, and it seemed really sad. Because I thought, but it's like you don't waste time on hope anymore, or you don't waste time on possibilities anymore. I think potential is massive. You know, potential, it has the potential to go in so far and in so many directions and create so much. You know, okay, so potential, inspiration, potential, inspiration. Good at, oh, that's what I'm good at. I'm very creative too, actually. I always have a project or projects. I'm a juggler. I always have a lot going on. A juggler. Better in life. Organisation. Getting things together. You know, I do manage it, but it's kind of under duress. So, for example, if I'm filling in tax returns, I have not only got to be, you know, people say, oh, well, if it's important, you'll do it. No, that doesn't work with me. It's not about important. It's about the fact that it literally hurts me. I can do it, but it really hurts. It's like pain to try and do lots of paperwork and be really together and organised. That is hard for me. I do it because I have to do it, but it's, you know, like with the tax returns, it's overdue, I'm still not doing it. When I get you know, a reminder, still not doing it. I'm like, I really must stress, weight on shoulders, in the back of the mind, in the front of the mind, not doing it. And then, you know, I'll get a court summons, and then I'm doing it, you know. But yeah, so that's a really bad organisation. Admiration and criticism from others. Okay, that from others. Let me see. A lot of people say that I'm a very strong person, which is funny because it's kind of a bit of a contradiction, because I often fall apart, you know. I have done throughout my life, really struggled at times, but you know, I suppose there is strength in me that other people see, because I'm told that quite a lot, you know, and that I've helped them. People say that to me a lot, you know, and there are areas of recognition, so I know it, and I know, maybe at the time I haven't realised, but I know that I've made an impact. So that's really, really, really good. You know, that's nice. That's a nice thing for me. Is this criticisms? Where are we? A criticism from others is okay. Probably more like stubbornness. I can be quite stubborn, and I can, you know, I can be like, I'm not dealing with this, and shut myself away. And I suppose if I'm really up against it, I can be, you know, I can just, yeah, I can close down, you know, I can shut people out and I can close down. Okay. Ideal place setting world. I don't know, you know, that's vast, you know, that requires a lot of thought. That off the top of my head, I'm thinking underwater, where people can breathe, you know, so the kind of, I suppose, movement's fluid, and there'll be some alternate means of communication, where maybe it's through clicks, like dolphins, or vibrations, and let me think, the abyss, you know, the aliens in abyss, at the bottom with the lights, and I don't know how they communicated, but it was some intelligent level, and that would be nice, you know. And I think that things like that there will be a point, I think, if we don't annihilate each other in the future, where we do actually manage to eradicate things like war, and maybe when we're all joined with the Borg, you know, maybe we won't even exist anymore. Maybe it will only be Borg or AI. The philosophy. Oh, I've done all of that. Okay, so describe a bad place or situation where you feel hopeless, inferior, and insecure. I'll be causing these. Skip if too personal. Who added that in? Like, we will not force you. Much. An office environment is, that I had a situation. I'm awkward I don't fit into an office environment. It's so unnatural to me. It's so enclosed and superficial. Superficial, not in the sense of, you know, people on magazines and things. Superficial, artificial. It's artificial. You know, offices are so artificial, and they're just, it's like, you know, cardboard boxes placed around everything. They're so claustrophobic, and I'm completely out of sorts in them. And I remember, you know, there was this kind of open office environment, and I've just been speaking to someone. This woman said to me, she held up this red bulb, and she was like, "What do I do with this?" And I was like, "Ah, red bulb. Hey, well, you know, they're used for parties, so you could have a party. You know, you could plug the red bulb in and invite some people. You could organise it and da 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 da." And then this other woman turned around, and no, then she said, I was just looking for the recycling. You know, and I was like, okay, scan the environment. This is an office. I don't belong here. It's not, just not on the right wavelength for this place. So I would either, in an office environment, I would either be hiding, I would be too loud, or hiding, or feral. You know, I can't. It doesn't. There's nothing. It can't. There's not even a river to build a bridge over to gap to bridge the gap. It's just, that's it. Offices are bad for me anyway, maybe not for other people. Okay, I think that's it. Thanks. I said thanks. That's so cool. All right.